Peace and blessings, people. Dr. Bobby Price, and today we outside of nature under a soursop tree with a mango tree in the back. And you can't see it, but you probably can hear it, but there's a horse right there. So we out here. Today we're going to talk about NO, okay? Not no, but nitric oxide, okay? One of the most important things for your exercise performance, which we'll talk about in a second. Also very important for your overall cardiovascular health, but also important for men in the bedroom, also important for the ladies as well too. So this is one of the things that isn't talked about enough. We're always talking about how we can, increase our vitamin C, how we can improve our iron, but this is one of the things we need to talk about because the number one cause of death for human beings is cardiovascular health, and this is by far one of the most important attributes of cardiovascular health. So NO is nitric oxide, okay? It is actually released from the endothelial tissue, okay? That's inside of your blood vessels. And what it does, when it does this, some of the benefits: lowers blood pressure, okay? The number one risk factor for the number one cause of human death, okay? So the number one risk factor for the number one cause of death is actually blood pressure, and it lowers it, okay? So that's really important. Number two, improves exercise performance. This is important because when you're on your fitness journey, you're going to actually be able to go harder during that rep or during that set, okay? And possibly do another set, okay? So that's hugely important as well too. And do the reps stronger, okay? Whether that be sprints or resistance training, okay? So that's really important, all right? You may hear the horse in the background. I got you in just a second, bro. All right, so number three, it relaxes the actual blood vessels, okay? It relaxes and dilates the blood vessels. So it causes constricted blood vessels that are doing this to open up and relax, okay? Which is hugely important. This is where you're getting the benefit of actually lowering your blood pressure. Hugely important, and improving your circulation. So that's hugely important as well too. It actually corrects ED, okay? One of the number one reasons why men have erectile dysfunction is because they're not able to get blood flow to the area, okay? And nitric oxide actually opens up those blood vessels by dilating and allowing blood flow to the area. This is natural Viagra, my man. Okay, so natural Viagra, all right? Another huge benefit is that it improves wound healing, okay? So if you're going through some type of wound problems that isn't just healing, nitric oxide is gonna help because it actually helps deliver more blood to the area. By delivering more blood, you deliver more healing. You deliver more immunity to the area, okay? And it's also antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and also a really good bronchodilator, which means it opens up the lungs as well too. So nitric oxide has a lot of benefits, not just for the fellas, but also for the ladies. So what I'm gonna do now is sort of give you a few tips on how you can actually increase your nitric oxide, okay? So number one, exercise. I know that it actually helps to improve exercise, but certain types of exercise actually improve your nitric oxide release. One could be HIIT training. That's high intensity interval training, okay? So that's things like jump rope. That could be hopping on the treadmill, running for like a minute, hopping off, waiting about 1 to 2 minutes, okay? But high intensity intervals. Now, however, if you're one of those people, you're high stress, I would sort of ask you to walk away from that and do something a little low stress, because cortisol actually decreases your nitric oxide, okay, when you're stressed out, all right? So you might want to do a combination of cardio training and resistance training, okay? So that's weights and a little bit of cardio. You can do jump rope, you can do cycling, you can do swimming, and then do some weight training, okay? That's gonna help increase your nitric oxide. So that's really important. I think another one would be watermelon, okay? Watermelon is loaded with what's called citrulline, okay? Citrulline. Citrulline converts into arginine, and arginine converts into nitric oxide. All right, now here's the tip. When you get your watermelon, there's a little part between the green rind of it and the red that's white. That's the part that has the most, Okay, so if you're making your juice or you're eating the watermelon, make sure you eat that part or drink that part. Hugely important. Another big one that most people don't know about when it comes to increasing nitric oxide is going to be fasting. Okay, fasting actually helps decrease arginase. Arginase is an enzyme, and that enzyme causes arginine to be decreased. As I mentioned before, arginine converts into nitric oxide, so that's hugely important. All right, so the more of you have of this enzyme arginase, the less you're going to have of arginine, which means the less you're going to have of nitric oxide. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you. This horse is very distracting. I got you. I'm gonna show you guys at the end this horse. All right, so but I'm gonna keep going. But one of the big benefits, again, fasting could actually help because again it decreases arginase, and arginase, again, when you decrease arginase, you're going to increase arginine, which increases nitric oxide. And what this causes is the endothelial cells that I talked about before to release more nitric oxide, okay? So that's really, really important. What else? More foods. So you could do arugula, foods like citrus fruits, green leafy vegetables, foods high in flavonoids are really good as well too. So those are going to be good. I know you're looking for me to say beets, and yes, beets, but you got to be careful because beets can cause issues with the blood sugar because a lot of people drink beet juice. Okay, so beets are an option if you don't have issues with blood sugar, but I would go with the ones I mentioned before. All right, the next one. This one's probably gonna throw you off too. And when it comes to fasting, you can do intermittent fasting before I go to the next one. You could do intermittent fasting. That's essentially where you extend the period after you wake up and what you don't eat. Okay, so hopefully you slept for about 8 hours. And then when you wake up, wait another 5 hours before you eat. I know that sounds crazy, but I basically don't eat breakfast. And it's helped me out a lot, but it doesn't have to be that long. It can be another 3 hours, another 2 hours. But the longer you extend that period, it's very helpful. Or if you're the kind of person I want breakfast, then shorten your day when it comes to eating your food at the end of the day. All right, so you're eating at, let's say, 6. Okay, so that'll be good as well too. Number 4. All right, number 4. No, yeah, I gave you some foods. So this is number 4. Number 4, nasal breathing. Stop breathing through your mouth, okay? Stop breathing through your mouth. And the reason why I say that is because when you breathe nasally through your nose, according to the BMJ, which is the British Medical Journal, and also the National Institutes of Health, when you breathe through your nose, your nasal passages actually produce nitric oxide, okay? So that's a perfect way to actually increase your nitric oxide and won't cost you anything. Just closing your mouth, okay? So start breathing through your nose, don't breathe through your mouth. I see a lot of people do this, especially when they're exercising, but on a day-to-day basis, you should be doing this. A lot of people will put a slither of tape between here just to remind them. A lot of people just consciously do it through mindfulness, but breathing nasally will actually help you. And I'm gonna tell you, if you're a mouth breather, I'll tell you, like when I used to do Taekwondo and fighting, one of the ways I would know that my opponent is about to go down is when I start seeing them breathe through their mouth, okay? And so stop mouth breathing, even if you don't care about nitric oxide, okay? And then the last one, this is really good, all right? This one is very interesting, and I know you're gonna say, what? But humming, okay? So I told you to stop mouth breathing, but humming, actually humming produces more nitric oxide than actual nasal breathing by 15 to 20 fold, okay, according to studies, okay? So nasal breathing will dramatically increase your nitric oxide, but if you're actually humming, it will increase it by 15 to 20 fold than it would with nasal breathing, okay? So I know it sounds crazy to hum, but I have my little thing. A lot of my friends know, you know, sometimes I'll just be humming for no reason, okay? I used to always do this, but now I know that it has benefits. I do it and have my friends join in with me. So it's like, Okay, so you could do that too. Some of you know where I got that from. All right, so that's humming. You could do that. And there's no real amount of time that you need to do it. You just figure that out for yourself. But if you do those, do a little bit of HIIT training. It's summertime right now, so watermelon is everywhere. Just make sure you get it seeded and make sure you eat the white part of it, because that's where the most of the citrulline is. Again, the citrulline converts to arginine. Arginine converts to nitric oxide. Okay, so you got the watermelon in your game for the summer. Fasting, incorporate some intermittent fasting. But hey, if you could do a little bit of water fasting, that's even better too. And then nasal breathing, okay? Add some of the foods that I mentioned, the green leafy vegetables, the arugula, the flavonoids, the high flavonoid foods, and then humming. If you could do those, fellas, you're gonna thank me today, you're gonna thank me tomorrow, and your wife gonna thank me too. All right, so let me help this horse out who's got stuck over here. So I told you I'll show you the horse. All right. What's up, buddy? All right, cool. So I'm gonna get out of here. I just wanted you to know that's why I was distracted the whole entire video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Try everything I set out in the video. Let me know in the comments if you tried it before. All right, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Until the next time, peace and blessings and Godspeed. Horsepower. Let me help this horse out, man.